It's 7:40. Let's do this. Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television, and you are watching First Warning Live, where we focus on all things weather, and because we get hungry from time to time, we're sponsored by Marco's Pizza, who is kind enough to deliver in certificate form. On this live stream, we're giving away 22 pizzas. Before I'm done talking this evening, 22 pizzas will be going out the door. Now, 12 of them will go to one individual per month. That's like pizza for a year. But then the individual pizzas will go out as well. So we'll give that out at the top of the hour, which is at 8 o'clock. It is now 7:40. I want to talk about the weather, though. We have so much going on. We had some rain today, but now we're dealing with some fog, and boy, is it dense right now in some locations, in some neighborhoods. But expect more scattered showers and fog tomorrow, and only a few showers on Saturday, mainly in North Carolina. That's been my message really since Tuesday when I got back. When I said that by Saturday, we'll probably have gone through Thursday and Friday. Some people will think, oh, it's a washout for the weekend. Now, Sunday, we'll have some outdoor challenges if you're trying to stay dry. But Saturday, you may actually be delightfully surprised. I've had little rainfalls on Saturday. So I'm getting to that point. But I do want to mention and commemorate, this is the big day. 1 year ago today, where were you? I was en route. I was packing up my stuff from East Tennessee to move here, but I can tell you 10.2 fell on the 19th of February, 2025. It is still number 8 on the top 10 snowfall list. And thanks to forecaster Derek Getter, who compiled some of these facts and figures. If you remember that storm like it was yesterday, because it was 365 days ago, it was the first snowiest for the February 19th time frame, the 5th snowiest February day on record, the 5th snowiest single day on record, and the 8th snowiest February on record. Isn't that wild? And the 9th biggest snow event. So you take your pick. It was an amazing kind of situation. If you have some comments, I would love to hear you. Leave me a note. How do you remember last February snowstorm? What do you remember fondly? Were you a kid and you were like, I was just enjoying the sledding time? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Some would wish that we'd have another one like it, but that's not in the cards when you were still in the 50s and even low 60s early this morning. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Want to check in with you. I do want to mention that we have fog. Boy, is it foggy. That's Norfolk on the top two pictures or panels. We have some maybe wet streets in Williamsburg, bottom center. Moyock, bottom right, with some wet streets perhaps, but it's the dense fog. This is actually the Chesapeake Bay camera. No way. Are you sure about that? You want to check, make sure you're showing us the right? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm fairly certain. It's not the Brooklyn Bridge, but it's the Chesapeake Bay that's hiding behind the dense fog curtain. And it's very, very, very poor visibility with 100% relative humidity. So I got to get to the here and now, right? This is what's going on now. But 100% relative humidity. We're in the 40s. We're in the 50s, North Carolina, but upper 40s for south side. That's actually a rise in temperature over the last couple of hours. The winds are not moving. But if you want to find out where the visibility is at its poorest, it would be Virginia Beach and Chesapeake. It's down to a half a mile. That's actually improved. Hampton, you were 0.1 in Hampton just about an hour or so ago. You've actually improved. And 0.1 is what, roughly 1/8 of a mile? That's like 2 football fields length, like 220 yards. That's dense. It's been dense in Suffolk. It's down to about 3/4 of a mile, 0.8. Franklin, they round up here. But Franklin and Suffolk, very poor visibility. And if you've got fog and you want to talk about that, I'd love to hear from you. Because it's not a problem if you're in Edenton. It's not a problem if you're in a Hosky. You're like, fog? What are you talking about? That weather guy doesn't know what he's talking about. There's no fog in Manio. There's no problems in Gloucester. Maybe some wet streets. But the fog clearly is a problem in southeastern Virginia. And you can clearly see big difference between the Chesapeake Bay and Williamsburg. I mean, it may be low clouds and some wet streets, but it's been foggy in Norfolk, and I can still see in the distance, I can still see the Wright Brothers Memorial there. So there's still some good visibility out there in Kill Devil Hills. If you're on the call, I want to say hi to you. I got some other notes on here. Some folks that were talking about how happy they were watching yesterday. I'm very happy to have Kim Thompson-Jones. She was here yesterday noting, and I didn't know if I put this on the screen just yet, so that's an easy fix. Let me put that on there and just kind of send it through, because this way we get everybody's on the screen. Good evening, David and First Warning Live friends. I want to hear from you. This would be a great opportunity for you to share your stories about last February snow. Maybe you want to talk about the fog. May I advise you that low beams is way better than high beams. You think you're going to see more, but what you're doing is you're sending that reflective light right back in your own line of sight. So you don't want to do that. You're going to be blinding. It's like putting a flashlight in your eyes. So stick with the low beams if you have to make some errands or doing some errands tonight. Before I get too far down the road, may I make a quick mention that we do have a deal of the week. It's the Pozzoli. Using the WTKR David promo code, you can get a pepperoni and sausage, chicken bacon ranch, or buffalo chicken. There are 6 locations that are going to participate in that $5 Pozzoli. I'll call it a giveaway because it is about half off, but 3 in Virginia Beach, 2 in Chesapeake, 1 in Norfolk. We would love to give you some free pizza. We will be giving some free pizza away today on this live stream, but if you don't win tonight, we'll give away more next week, next Thursday. So you can sign up. Your name is randomly selected. If you are a winner, you'll get the certificate in the mail. But I do love the Pozzoli for many, many reasons. It's a very filling. It's like a stromboli or a calzone. The pizza for your certificate looks like this. And whoever receives it will get 1 free pizza, 1 large, 1 topping, every month for the next 12 months. You'll go through December of this year and January of 2027. It works like a punch card. You could put it under a magnet on your refrigerator if you so choose. But the Pozzoli on the left and the Magnifico pizza can be found at marcos.com. All right, just checking in with the weather here. I want to check in with you. This is a good chance for me to check in with your comments, because oftentimes it's just a matter of me selecting on the software what comments might be new. We heard from Kim Thompson-Jones a moment ago, and I do read some of the comments even after, for those of you that don't watch it live, but may watch it a few hours later. I do have some notes here. I think it's buffering here. Let's see here. Kim, this is fresh. She wrote this I guess 4 minutes ago. She says, I loved it, but stayed in the house. Okay. When it's foggy, maybe sitting by a warm bowl of soup. That sounds good. A pizza dinner, when it's free from Marcos, that's also a winner pizza dinner. But there are other reasons, maybe to stay by the fireplace, especially if it has like a switch. You know what I mean? If the fancy ones, they flip, you don't even have to put on the log on the fire. It'll happen for you if you're so inclined to have that at your disposal. Hey, as I mentioned, the fog, that's one issue, but let me take you where we're going to go, because 8 o'clock is just a few minutes from now. 11 o'clock tonight, it's still likely to have some poor visibility in here. It's about 1/3 of a mile. Notice it's not a problem in parts of North Carolina or inland Virginia, 10 miles, but there's still going to be a sweet spot for fog right near the coast. In fact, the dense fog advisory that the National Weather Service did issue was for the marine issues. So if you have a radar and a compass and you're in a boat, I guess that has some utility. But if you're in a car, may I urge you to use your low beams to get you through the night, because there could still be issues tomorrow morning, right? 0.4, that's less than a half mile for the eastern shore, and areas inland could be still dealing with fog in the morning. There's not a lot of wind to stir up the pot, so to speak. It's even down to less than a quarter mile, half mile in around the Outer Banks first thing tomorrow morning at 5. So this is just a projection. It's a model, has some utility from this perspective. It's not going to last the entire day. I think we'll see some big improvement by about 9 or 10 a.m. As you can see illustrated here, things improve dramatically by then. It is now 7:48. How much colder is it now than it was this time yesterday when I was streaming? Quite a bit, by about the order of about 15, maybe closer to 20 degrees colder in Suffolk and Virginia Beach. That's not your imagination. Not your imagination at all. I got Luke on here. He says, hello. Luke, it's good to see you. If you have a question, I will certainly answer or address it. But were you cold today? If I told you the high was 61, now some of you are like, there's no way. No way, weather guy, are you going to try and convince me that it was 61 degrees because I work outside most of the day and it was not that warm. It was at 3:30 in the morning. Isn't that nice that we get a number from the airport that's a 24-hour maximum? That 61 degrees occurred at 3:30 on the dot this morning. That's according to the airport records. And we had a low this morning of 41, but it wasn't this morning, it was this afternoon. Upside down day. That's how I describe it. It's when you have a front that comes through, you get the maximum temperature in the pre-dawn hours, sometimes between midnight and 5 a.m., but that's where we were. And if you want to see it even more fancy, I could do it. We'll do it in reverse. You ready? I'm going to do this on the full screen. Look at the numbers on this. Pick out your favorite town. Watch the numbers go do-do-do-do. It's like falling back down. Because if you're new on our platform, the timestamp's here. At 7 o'clock this morning, the 61 suddenly dropped to 57. Well, you were calling like 58 with a down arrow. I know. I outperformed it at 3:30 a.m., apparently. But 57 was the temperature when you may have been watching Miles Henderson this morning. And it was 56 in Virginia Beach and Currituck. It was 57 in Edenton at 7 a.m., but it didn't stay that way. It kept going down. You said it would go down, but I didn't know it would go down that fast. It did. But not everybody. I mean, even at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they were still in the 60s here in parts of North Carolina. Edenton was 61. Windsor was 68, while it was 42 in Norfolk. That can't be the same viewing area. It is. I mean, you talk about some variability. You've come to the right place when you come to Hampton Roads and Northeast North Carolina. You could be in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Oh, my. Yeah, that's where we were at 2 o'clock this afternoon. But now look where we are. I'll keep going to 7. Now our current temperature, actually our lowest temperature, dropped to 41, and I think we're probably pretty close to that. No, we've come up. We've come up 8 degrees since about 3 o'clock this afternoon. At 2:54, we were at 41. Now we're at 49. So as that temperature fell further and further down the spectrum, we kind of came closer and closer to the dew point, which saturated the atmosphere and hence fog, dense fog. And not everybody fell that fast. Like the temperatures that stayed on the warmer side weren't that close to their dew point. I'm talking about Edenton, I'm talking about Windsor in Bertie County. But these are our current temperatures as of 7 p.m. It's 47 in Virginia Beach, 48 in places like Suffolk, but 56 currently in Windsor, 57 in Ahoskie, and 46 in Gloucester. If you've got a comment, this would be a great time to say hello. Jacqueline Simmons has a great note. I want to engage Jacqueline. Hi, Jacqueline. Oh, and kudos to you, Jacqueline. See, anyone who's new to this platform, we like to comment and recognize the people that leave a comment. The picture that you supply Facebook will automatically appear in the bottom right corner. And she took a good close-up so I can see Jacqueline's beautiful face. Thank you. She says, snow. She says, I loved it. Looking from the inside of my home, I presume a year ago, right? Because a year ago, it was big, right? It was big enough that when I got here 2 days later, on the 21st of February 2025, there were huge mounds of snow in the parking lot of like Walmart, Target, those places. So they had been shoveled out and pushed all in one place. But if she liked it inside, watching from home, that's fine. You didn't necessarily have to venture out. And that's probably the best thing, because you want to let the crews clear the streets. They do that. They do that well, but sometimes they need a little bit of space to do it, and do it in a timely fashion. But thank you for that reminder or memory. I got Ed. Ed Reeves says, hey, you know what? It's soupy out there in Larchmont. You're not kidding. Hashtag fog. Ed, I 100% agree with you. And as I say, it always helps to use those low beams, because sometimes you think, oh, I'll be able to see further, but you're only reflecting more of that right back into your eyes, and then you have that glare. You know, like when someone has the high beams on you, it kind of like, I'm having a hard time focusing a few seconds later, so it's easier if you go with the low beam route in this fog. But it too will take a little while longer to get out of here, as we just looked at. 52 right now in Elizabeth City. Boy, they've been in the 80s today from Florida to Texas. Florida to Texas got into the 80s today. So can you imagine if we bring back the southwest wind tomorrow, which we will, we're going to be in the upper 60s to near 70. Are you kidding me? We're going back to 68 to 70 tomorrow? It's possible. Very, very possible. Look at Atlanta, hot Atlanta, Nashville, 77. That's our current temperature in those cities. And we're coming up on the 8 o'clock hour. They might cool another degree or two, but big difference from Atlanta at 74. Myrtle Beach is at 57. If you want to know where the real cold air is, go further back toward Rapid City. I believe it's Rapid City, South Dakota. Yeah, they're at 9 degrees right now. That's some harsh stuff, no doubt. We'll look more at the colder air in Canada coming up. But I want to go to our high temperature day. 61, again, came at 3:30 in the morning. Record high 78. We've had now 3 days in a row above normal. I don't know about you, but the first 9 days of this month, we would have done anything to get a warmer than above average day. We were so cold, we were running about 12.6. I remember this because it was right before I took some time off. We were about 12 and a half degrees below normal for the first 9 days of February. It was insanely cold. But then we've moderated a bit, and now we're probably closer to 8, maybe going on 7 by the time we get to tomorrow, because tomorrow we should be about 68 degrees. So we're actually going to see a string of above average days, and then as the system clears out, we have potential for some flakes. I'll talk about that coming up in a moment too. Satellite radar is showing us the rain right now. This is a current look. So if you're watching this live, this has maybe more benefit or utility for you because it's 7:54. It's coming down in buckets in Gloucester, Virginia right now. Gwynns Island, Matthews, Williamsburg, Seaford getting rain right now. Newport News, a little bit of drips and drabs in Norfolk. Down here we have some rain, maybe light showers in Virginia Beach. But clearly it's affecting the eastern shore from Cape Charles to Nancock all the way up to Chincoteague. They're getting some rain right now. Now, if I put this into motion, you could see this in the context. Very little rain fell today in North Carolina, and we're going to look at that rainfall amount here in a moment. But very little rain fell in North Carolina. You'll get your chance, I guess, on Saturday because we'll see some of this rain redevelop here on Saturday. But as far as tonight is concerned, this still has to work its way through. So we're not out of the woods. The rainy showers, or I should say the scattered showers, will persist. And it's really not a mystery, the fact that we have no wind, because we have a stationary boundary that's draped right across the 757. And when you're around that boundary, there's not going to be much wind, and there's not going to be much wind to stir the fog out of the atmosphere. So we're still going to be dealing with rainy conditions tonight, rainy conditions maybe through midday tomorrow, and the fog will break probably by 10 o'clock in most locations. But I think we'll see some sunlight even toward the sunset tomorrow. Many of us will see that setting in the west on Friday. And Friday's sunset is precisely at 5:50. Now, if I expand the view a little bit further, the warm air that's been in Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi will be directionally here tomorrow. They're getting some severe weather this evening. I see some tornado warnings in red and some severe thunderstorms in orange. And they've actually leveled that up to a level 3 enhanced risk for severe weather tonight. We'll look at that toward the end of the stream. But if you want warm air, it's coming back. Now, here's what we've had so far. About 1/3 of an inch, Smithfield, Williamsburg, in terms of rainfall today. Nothing reported in Portsmouth. Doesn't mean it hasn't rained in Portsmouth, but maybe nothing measurable. And then 0.07 of an inch has fallen in Elizabeth City based on some of the rain gauges we access through the National Weather Service. But 0.15, 1500ths, Chesapeake, Norfolk's had 1/10 of an inch. But the big winners would be up in Saluda, Middlesex County, and Wallops Island at 0.56. Wakefield's picked up about 1/4 inch, and lesser amounts as you go further into North Carolina. So Suffolk has picked up 1/10 of an inch of rain today. Why is this important? It's so important because we need all the rain we can get. We're going to look at the drought monitor coming up too. But it's almost about 3 minutes from 8 o'clock. We're going to announce the pizza winners if you're just joining us. But here's the future rainfall, right? As we go through 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, you may not be impressed if all you get is 1/10 of an inch of rain, Southside, Albemarle, and inland Virginia. Now, if I go through Saturday, you're going to see the clock move, but none of the virtual gauges move. Right, there's Saturday. I moved it to 5 p.m. Saturday, sleight of hand, but nothing changed because the rain is going to be pretty limited. I would say very limited, and may very well be location further south of Rodanthe. But then when I go into Sunday, let's move the clock further, you can see the numbers populate once again, another 1/2 inch south side, maybe a total of 1 inch or more from the Albemarle to the Outer Banks. So that's where things will get interesting. By 11 o'clock on Sunday, in some cases, the raindrops will have changed over to some snowflakes. Am I expecting it to be a big deal? No. I would call it an MBD, no big deal. Some of you will see it. But if you get 1 inch, in some cases, maybe 1/2 inch of rain, and temperatures at 35, you're going to have a long time waiting for that to stick. It's going to fall into puddles, and it's not the recipe for a good snow. Certainly not like what you had a year ago on this very date. Another look at the rainfall potential, 0.6 in Richmond, 1.2 in Nags Head. My suspicion is, based on today's data, you're going to find the best snow from what comes in over the weekend, Sunday night, Monday, up toward Annapolis, Maryland. Do you know where Annapolis, Maryland is? Yeah, it's not in our designated market area. St. Michael's, you know that area? Easton, you know Easton, Maryland? That's where I think the center of this will be. And of course, the notorious GFS model is always over and ahead of its skis because it's been posting crazy amounts of snow and now it's trying to dial it back. Surprise! I told you that yesterday. It usually does it. It usually is the clickbait that people like to show, and then they have to dial it back. I'm not going to dial anything back. I still think the worst of the snow, what they get of it, a couple of inches, will be centered around Annapolis, Maryland. Now tomorrow, 59 rain showers on the front end of the day. By about 2 o'clock, I'll put 2 here. I think we're going to start to see the clouds break. And we should be near 70. Upper 60s, clouds break, it's warmer. Sun sets tomorrow at 5:50. So if you have Friday night plans, you can put that umbrella away. You won't need it. Isn't that nice? You won't need it. In fact, the temperature forecast, you might have a car thermometer that shows it's even faster. I mean, what I showed you a moment ago on the planner is pretty conservative. This may warm up even faster in your neighborhood because it's 6 o'clock in the morning here. This would suggest it's already 50. 50 on the eastern shore, 51 on the peninsula. And by the time you hit 11 a.m., it's already 64. You could be flirting with 70. Ooh, that looks like a flirt with 70 by my account. That's 3 o'clock, 69. Maybe we do hit a 70. Maybe we could flirt. Well, there's certainly 70 plus in inland North Carolina. So if you like the warm weather, you like the fact that you could get a little bit of sunshine to end the day, tomorrow's going to turn out better in the afternoon than the way it starts, simply because of the fog and rain factor, which will still be with us at times. All right, coming back on the screen here, wanted to check in with the comments to see if I missed anybody. Let's see, Ambler. I'd like to say hi to Ambler. Hi, Ambler. Ambler Hatchet says roller coaster weather in the 757. Totally agree. Keep up the good work, Dave. Thank you, Ambler. Appreciate that. And you know what time it is? It is time to give away some free pizza. I love it because some of the people who win maybe don't know they won until you've told them. Because if you're in your neighborhood, you go, I know that person. Let them know. We're going to send this certificate by way of the U.S. Post Office. So if you get something that says either WTKR or Marco's on it, don't throw it away. You'd be throwing away free food, free pizza. But let's get to the winners, and we'll do our very best. Now, these pizzas also include the option of one topping. I didn't have room to put it at the top of the screen there, but that's implied. So if you get a certificate, and that's what this will be, it'll come in the mail. If your name is called, you can expect this to arrive in your mailbox in just a matter of days, maybe a week, just depends on when it got out in the mail stream, and assuming there is not a holiday like a President's Day to slow it down. But the first 2 winners are from Portsmouth and Norfolk. All right, let's get a way to represent Portsmouth and Norfolk. We got Amanda Wiley. Amanda's like, she's probably overwhelmed with excitement, or she's not watching right now. Maybe she watches an hour from now. Either way, I want to congratulate Amanda and Ashley. Amanda Wiley from Portsmouth, Ashley Smith from Norfolk. Congratulations, you won our first 2 pizzas of the night. And number 3 and 4, in no particular order, are both from Virginia Beach. Way to represent Virginia Beach. Denise Dowling, you are our 3rd winner tonight. Elizabeth Rowe, you're also a winner of a free pizza with 1 topping. We'll throw in 5 and 6 in there. Emily Brooks from Chesapeake. And 6 is Grover Starks. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I know Emily. Oh, I know Grover. He goes to my church or something like that. Hey, let him know. Send him a text. Knock on his door, his virtual door, or leave him a DM. You know what? Hey, did you know you just won a free Barcodes? And then the bigger question is, are you going to share? Are you going to share Emily and Grover? I don't know. Hopefully somebody in your family would enjoy having a slice of pizza. You don't have to eat the whole thing. It's no requirement to eat it all. But let's go on to number 7. Number 8 on the screen, that would be Virginia Beach and Chesapeake, representing in number 7 and 8 style here. That's Jamie Bell. Congratulations, Jamie and Michael Fenn of Chesapeake. You're our 8th winner tonight of a free Marco's Pizza. You can look for that certificate to come in the mail in just a matter of days. And lastly, but not totally lastly, we'll get to the pizza winner, the grand prize winner of the week momentarily, but let's get to 9 and 10. That's Monica Jones from Newport News and Tom Howard, also from Newport News. Look out, we're representing quite a group here, selectively drawn randomly. I love to say that we got Amanda, Ashley, Denise, Elizabeth, Emily, Grover, Jamie, Michael, Monica, and Tom Howard. So you may know some of these individuals, and I would encourage you to let them know that they just won some free pizza. Now, the big winner of the week is always the free Barco's Pizza for a year, because as we mentioned, if you win, there is going to be a place, 6 places you can redeem that pizza that we just announced, or the pizza for a year. So that could be Virginia Beach times 3, 2 in Chesapeake, that's the Kempsville Road, and the new one that's on South Battlefield Boulevard. It's been around since September, but the one in Norfolk is also a great handy place to go. So let's go ahead and put the big winner tonight. But first, before I forget, I always like to do this because I know that sometimes we like to have a little bit of confetti. All right, the big winner tonight goes to Debbie Hendricks of Chesapeake. Oh, Debbie, come on down. You are the winner of this week's Marco's Pizza. For a whole year? What are you going to do with all that pizza, Debbie? I know, if you're like most, you're like, oh, I could probably have a slice, maybe two in one sitting. Or maybe if I'm really hungry, I can go for the 3 slices. But there's more than that in a pizza pie, and you might want to share it with your family, your significant other, anybody in your family, or maybe your neighborhood. We encourage you to do that, but thank you, Debbie, for participating. Again, if you want to get a $5 Pizzoli, maybe you didn't win tonight. Debbie, of course, will have the certificate in her mailbox in just a matter of short time, but we'll have her name in the upper left-hand corner. She'll be able to show it at any one of those 6 stores, and since it is February, I'll assume she'll get that before the end of the month. She'll have one in March, one in April, and so on right through January of 2027. So congratulations to Debbie. Congratulations to you, and really congratulations to Debbie Hendricks of Chesapeake and all of our winners tonight. I just want to get back to the pizza, get back to the weather. Appreciate everybody's patience. And hey, love for you to get a Pizzoli if you use the promo code WTKR David. All right, so we're talking about the temperatures. I like the fact that it's 70 on a Friday, right? Now, it's going to go back down. I have this arrow. This is just to illustrate that Saturday is another upside down day. So if I don't put the high temperature of 58 there and you work the 3rd shift and I just say it's going to be in the 40s and you go, no way. Yeah, we're going to spend most of the time getting colder, and then we'll bounce back to maybe near 49 on Sunday. Sunday is the soggy day that has the potential to turn into some flakes as it gets dark. I want to show you what that looks like right now. So let's go through this. Some of you are like, I just want to know what Sunday night's going to look like. Okay, but we have a lot of living to do between now and say Sunday because it's only Thursday. So let's get through tonight. 9 o'clock, this is a projection of what it might look like in your neighborhood about an hour from now. Right? There's another piece of energy coming down from Richmond, moving into Williamsburg, into Saluda, into Gloucester County. And then by about 7 a.m., there's probably about, from 11 to 7, that's like 8 hours of nothing. There could be some really long periods of time while you sleep where it's not raining. Could certainly be raining in Richmond, but most of us are still going to have that fog when you wake up tomorrow. Now, maybe you're not out the door at 6, maybe you're out the door at 7. That's at the top of your screen. Now, if I take you to 10 a.m., let me remind you what I said. The chance of us getting rain tomorrow will be in the morning and through midday. Now, midday to me is 11 to 1. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. is what I define as midday, right? Because, we have daylight savings times coming to an end first week, about the 8th of March. So, having said that, we manipulate the clock. So let's just work with me. Say 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. is midday. By the time we hit 11, it's still raining. You said this rain was going to be gone. Well, I think by the time we hit noontime, maybe by 2, look, like 2 o'clock, it's gone. It's all gone, and now the clouds are breaking, right? So the chance of rain ending pretty quickly in the afternoon is real. I think the timing of this will be abrupt, meaning the rain will just suddenly stop. So if you get a chance, and maybe you wake up as I take off not my halo, but my telestrator, we will see a little bit of breaks in the overcast for the rest of the afternoon. Because now, 5 o'clock, we got bright sun here, and the rain has already departed. So we're near 70, and the clouds have broken. That's why I said the second half of your Friday will actually turn out to be pretty sweet. Saturday, not so much. It's going to be a blend of clouds and sunshine. We'll look at that, and then we're going to look at the snow opportunity that comes in on Sunday night. Let me go to that, and I'll show you some of the data, because some of you love to see the snow models. I don't want to leave you out from that. We'll show you that too. So 11 o'clock on Friday night, we'll call it partly cloudy. Got a wind out of the west at 10 miles an hour, and so it goes. Now we wake up Saturday. I have the best chance of rain where? North Carolina. You've said that since Tuesday. I have, and I'm not wavering from that. A 30% chance we get some rain on Saturday, mainly where? In North Carolina. Where's the rain at 6 a.m.? Well, it looks like it's in Chowan County, Aldrich. It's right there. Okay, that's not much. We got some in Dare County. Got maybe some near Manio. There's a little bit. I left a 30% chance of rain on Saturday. What happens the rest of Saturday? Here's 8 o'clock. Oh, it's in Duck. Okay, now we have a little drop here, a little drop here. That's about it. You notice it hasn't rained yet on Saturday, but it's only 8 o'clock in the morning. I could be in for a doozy. No, the sun breaks out. Now we got sunshine in the 757, and it turns out to be a pretty decent Saturday, which is what I've been advertising since Tuesday. A little drop of rain in Bertie County, maybe one down here along the Albemarle area, but that's it. 3 o'clock, still no rain along the eastern shore peninsulas or to the 757. But a 30% chance of rain in and around North Carolina is reasonable for your Saturday. That's what I expect to find. Come back on camera, everybody. I've gone on so long enough, I have to just reboot or restart my computer. But I will say you will get a pretty decent Saturday night too, because we have partly cloudy skies even by that time. All right, so let me go back to the map itself here, and then we'll go finish this out, because I know you want to see the snow, but we got to get through the rain. Sunday's a super soaker. In all counts, you're probably looking at about anywhere from 1/3 to 3/4 of an inch of rain. 1/3 to 3/4 of an inch of rain on average on Sunday. Now that's 5 a.m. Sunday, that's 8 o'clock Sunday. It's not raining everywhere, but I left an 80% chance you're going to get some rain on Sunday. Now noontime, the graph model is now changing it over up toward areas to the north, up toward maybe Middlesex County. There could be some changing over to flakes. Now that's 12 noon. That's probably a bit faster for my taste, as I have seen some of the other data that's on the pipeline, and it doesn't last long. Look at that, by 4 o'clock it's gone. So a lot of the flakes are going to fall into puddles. And when there's still puddles and your temperature's about 35 or warmer, you're not going to stick. You might think it's going to stick. You might be alarmed that it's snowing in some areas in the peninsula, but by 4 o'clock Sunday, there's not much more there. And that's about all there is to it. Now, the rain this weekend, we talked about this. It was going to be mainly in areas along, now that's Sunday. There's potential for this to come down. This is the European, it's a different model. But tell me why I thought Annapolis would be the center of the snow. It's up here near the nation's capital. So you're going to have more raindrops, more mixing. This is 10:30 Sunday night. It's a no big deal. That's why I called it the NBD. So next time you see something on Facebook where somebody is making something of this, you say it's no big deal, because temperatures are going to be warm enough and will rain most of the day that in most cases it's not a setup for good snows. Certainly not what you had like you had a year ago. Hopefully that makes sense. Got some other comments on here. Congrats. Thank you, Taj. We have a lot of winners from Marcos. Appreciate that. Kim is also complimenting the winners tonight. So I want to congratulate all the winners from Marcos. They are don't have to do that. Always appreciative of their generosity and helping us out. And I got Taj. He's also, I love this little image he does. He has this little cool thing. He's excited. Maybe he's excited about the rain changing over to snow. We'll get that opportunity on Sunday night, because you can see the time frame here. As we go back on the full screen, is about 10:30 on Sunday night. 10:30 Sunday night, that's where you may see a little bit of rain. Well, obviously rain in North Carolina, but there could be some mixing. Anyone's fair game for some rain and flakes and drops heading into the early hours of your Monday. And again, a lot of that will be wet and won't have much to stick. Now, I do like to show you the models. This is where I have to pull out my red pen. I do this on occasion because I want people to know I'm not hiding from these numbers. You're not showing us all the data. Yeah, this is a bunch of nonsense, okay? For the reasons I just told you. You said, well, this is the euro. Everybody loves the euro. Yeah, when it cooperates, it falls in line with other things, but it doesn't. So even if you got 1.9 inches of snow to fall in the crazy GFS, the GFS has over an inch of rain falling. Your backyard, what would your backyard look like with an inch of rain on the front end of that Sunday? It wouldn't stick. You might see a few flakes, and I still think this is all going to push further up toward Annapolis. I think the 2 to 4 may be found around Annapolis, Maryland. Again, not in our viewing area. So if you want to see another model, I'll give you one. This one again is the NAM. Sometimes I call it the NAM sense. NAM sense. If it doesn't align with everything else I'm seeing, even this is probably overstated. Could mix in with a few raindrops, but it's no cause for alarm. We're going to go right back to what I said before, and that is no big deal. No big deal. And I will look at it again, and I'll update you. I always do on Facebook throughout the weekend. So if something changes or there's a little pivot, I'll let you know. But again, our weather team will be all over this, and we'll keep you posted. But in the meantime, got to get through tomorrow. Tomorrow, did I tell you we're near 70? Yeah, that's exciting. All right, time for some weather trivia. It's now 8:14. I want to give compliments and props and kudos to forecaster Dara Getter on our weather team, our first morning weather team. She wrote the question in Hampton Roads, what is typically the rainiest season? Is it A, springtime, B, summertime, or C, fall or autumn? Which is the rainiest season typically? And we're going to get to the drought monitor next because that came out today. And we're also going to get to some polar cold air for those who are interested in what's happening about 30 days from now. So you got a chance to guess A, B, or C. If there's any takers, let me know. I got a note from Kim. She's following up. She wrote 2 minutes ago. Good day to stay in on Sunday. Yeah, kind of lousy weather with the rain that leads up to it, but for sure. Oh, I got Taj. Taj says it's summer. Taj says it's summer. Is that right? Yeah, his guess is B. I want to see if Taj is right. He is right. Ding, ding. Taj, you usually get these questions right, so I give you props. July and August are the rainiest months of the year. Let's check Dara's homework here. I went back and checked. Yes, she's absolutely right. She's absolutely right because you look at July, you look at August, there are just about 6 inches, right? Maybe more in July than August, but September's not far behind. September is about 5.5, but yeah, it is summertime that we typically see most of our rain. And February, to be fair, even though we have rain in the forecast for Sunday, it is usually the driest month of the year. That was not the case last year when you had over 10 inches of snow on this date, finished up with 11 with the 0.8 that you got on the 20th. But a lot of snow fell last year, so the February, that's just a 30-year average, right? The 2.90 is just a 30-year average, so we usually expect February to be one of the drier months. Well, now, what concerns me in our viewing area would be areas in Bertie and Northampton County. Let me repeat, Northampton and Bertie County have gone to level 4 on the drought monitor. This comes out every week, comes out at 8:30. NOAA issues where they see some areas around the country that are experiencing drought conditions, and the extreme drought has suddenly grown red in that part of Northampton. We're going to look at that in a moment. We're still in level 2 here in Hickory, Norfolk, and Ocean Lakes, because these are the areas of level 2 on the legend. That's moderate drought. We have a moderate drought, level 2 in Exmoor, Cape Charles, and Chincoteague, Christchurch and Gloucester, Seaford. We also have a moderate drought in parts of Dare County. Hatteras, though, is yellow, so that would be actually an abnormally dry condition for the drought. Still a drought, but abnormally dry conditions persist there. And we've got some severe weather going on in Ahoskie. But where it really gets ugly red here would be around Woodville and Rich Square. So if you know this area in North Carolina, congratulations. It's not a good congratulations, it's a bad congratulations that you've now reached the extreme dry part of the country. And these red areas are in fact growing as we get closer to the growing season. We're just weeks, if not a few months away from the heart of the growing season. And if you're a farmer, you're a landscaper, you're a gardener, rain matters, right? If it gets some rain, it's helpful. But when you're in a level 4 drought condition in Rich Square and Woodville, Scotland Neck, wouldn't you want to know about it? I'm here to tell you the latest drought monitor today reveals that very scenario. It's also bad in places like Portland, Maine, excuse me. I'm used to thinking Portland, Oregon, but Portland, Maine has an extreme drought. And we have severe drought in the nation's capital, from Hagerstown down towards, say, Martinsville, Virginia. Charlotte, areas east of Charlotte also have extreme drought, and parts of South Carolina. I don't want to leave Tennessee out. It's abnormally dry for Knoxville, but it looks like it's a level 2 moderate drought for Lenoir City, Maryville, Sevierville, Morristown, and Maynardville in Union County. Oak Ridge is abnormally dry, but you can see it's really, really bad. They need some serious rain in Florida, and they need some serious rain in South Texas, and a good part of Arkansas, all under an extreme drought. Some of those are going to exceptional drought. That's the burgundy color. There's a little bit of that here and a little bit here in South Texas. So it could be worse. There's even some areas in the Rockies that could use some water. And I know they were complaining, I think, in Salt Lake City. Some Utah folks were talking about they didn't have much snow. They use that for drinking water. So all of this has ramifications down the road, I'm sure, for those respective neighborhoods. Tracking the temperatures, I want to show you how this works, right? I can say it's going to be 70-ish, near 70 tomorrow, but look at this. It's like a pogo stick. watching the purple air come down, it's just like it just keeps on coming. It's like bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. It keeps pushing down. There will be episodes like watching the tide go in and out. You're going to see cold air continue on as we head down the month of March. And if you look at today's numbers, you can see from this map here, I'll fly this in, this would suggest that there's going to be warm air rises, cold air sinks. There's actually 2 red circles here, which would suggest that all this is going to push down probably about 30 days from now. So I'm looking at February 19th, and we're going to go ahead and fly this in here. February 19th, so about the 19th of March would be a projection of when this would have its effect. It would push down some extra cold air in the direction that these contours are labeled. So that would put most of it in the direction of New England, and it would push in that direction. But we're over here, we've got the Gulf open for business, so you're going to have a lot of humidity and extra cold air. It's also going to create more severe weather, like we're seeing right now in parts of the Midwest. So as I said before, and I maintain it, we're going to have an early start to severe weather season. I just see that in the offering. That's going to be coming. That's a given. And we're seeing level 2, level 3 even tonight. Let me get to the headlines. You'll notice the fog is improving. How do you know that, Aldrich? Well, look at the picture. Look at the picture. I can see the Chesapeake Bay. It's improved because the temperature is coming up. The temperature is getting further and further away from the dew point. As it moves away, the fog is lifting. I wouldn't say it's burning, but it's lifting. And so we're getting some better visibility in around our neighborhoods around the Chesapeake Bay. That's good. So if you're just joining us, I've got a little long because I had to give away the pizza winners, but 8:20 is our time. Much warmer tomorrow. Morning and midday showers. I think by 2 o'clock, most if not all of the rain is gone. Temperatures will fall again on Saturday. Showers and only a 30% chance on Saturday will be in North Carolina. And then it's rainy and windy Sunday with flakes. The rain will taper off as flakes on Sunday night. Again, no big deal. Temperature trend will go down on Saturday and settle back into the lower to mid 40s for Monday and Tuesday, when the normal high this time of year is in fact 54 degrees. So something to think about that. I got a follow-up from Kim. I want to make sure I'm keeping in tune with all the notes here. Kim has a note. Did I push that back on the screen here? Happy first anniversary on Saturday with us in Hampton Roads. David, you're a huge asset to our area for the weather. You're very sweet, Kim. I appreciate that. Yeah, Tuesday, the 24th, was my first day. And some of you who watch the TV side regularly, I had the privilege and the honor to shadow Patrick Rocky for a week. That was also kudos to our managers, because they said, hey, it would be kind of cool if you kind of like work beside Patrick before he exits, and that way as iron sharpens iron, that's like a proverb, being able to work with him for a week was instrumental. Helped me understand some of the things that he saw and the years that he had been here, 23 years, a lot of contributions from Patrick, and I've also learned quite a bit even from Dave Parker. So it's great to be able to have that kind of relationship, and I love the fact that Patrick did serve this area for a great long time, as he's from here too. Grew up, I can't believe, around Fort Eustis. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm thrilled. I can't believe the years passed that quickly. But Tuesday, the 24th, will be my 1-year anniversary here. So thank you for recognizing and remembering that, or bringing it to my attention there. 30% chance of rain on Saturday, 80% on Sunday, 20% chance on Monday. Again, this cold air is like trying to track peg jello to the wall. You see all that cold air in purple spinning around James Bay and around the Arctic and Canada. It'll come and go. So consistency comes at a premium. You're not going to get a consistent wardrobe when you get stuff like this. And that's why I say most of the snow, I think, is going to be up toward Annapolis. Could affect areas in the D.C. suburbs. And certainly up maybe even toward northern New Jersey. It's not to say we couldn't get some flakes in the eastern shore. We'll watch that closely. But given the fact you have had rain for so long during the day, it might have a hard time sticking outside of maybe a cold car rooftop or some grassy blades in your lawn. Now, the upper air pattern does return to warmer weather by Wednesday, and so it comes and goes. So even if you did see some snow up toward the Annapolis, Maryland area, or on your route to that area, you'd see that snow melt pretty quickly in the days to come thereafter. Multiple sources for information. Make sure you download the First Warning Weather app. The NOAA Weather Radio is a great tool to have. If you're in the military and you're wondering what's going on in terms of the weather, got some wet weather and snow going on in California. It's mountain snows there. Rain around Monterey, Los Angeles, even Vegas. Last I checked, Vegas is a desert. Yeah, that's what they tell me. I got a brother that lives there, so he says they drive in rain like we drive in snow. They don't like rain in the desert. You know what I'm saying? Not something they do well in. My brother jokes that I don't even know if they know how to use the wipers. It's hot in the desert, but when it rains, they freak out. So they're freaking out, I'm sure, in Vegas tonight with some snow stretching across parts of Utah. Now, in Omaha, Nebraska, they're getting some good snow, and it's snowing in places like just south of Sioux City. Waterloo, Iowa, also getting some snow raining over to the east side. And then we get into the severe weather area. This would be in Illinois, near Ablong. If I zoom in a little bit tighter, I think that is not only a tornado warning, but also potentially some severe weather. We got, in Jasper County, Illinois, till 7:30 Central Time, they've got a tornado warning there. And they have some severe thunderstorm warnings for Clark, Crawford, and Jasper till 8 o'clock with a tornado possible. So, severe weather happens when you get a clash of the warm and the cold air, and it's really cold to the north. Now we got more severe weather here. This looks like it's in Decatur, and also a tornado warning for Bartholomew, Decatur, and Shelby going on right now in parts of Indiana. Indiana's got severe weather going on right now. So, let's be thankful. We don't even have thunder. In most cases, right, this is devoid of thunder. This is just plain old rain, and it's affecting parts of the 757. All right, let me take you through this. We'll wrap things up today. This is the European model for the next 10 days. You pick out when you think we're going to get blasted. I see some rain coming in this weekend. It's Sunday. And then maybe by maybe later on, maybe the Thursday. Now, there's Sunday. Sunday, I think definitely some snow in Pennsylvania, Annapolis, Snowshoe, West Virginia, changing over to raindrops in the Virginia Beach area, and then it spins out. And then you get another rainmaker coming in about the Thursday, the 27th, and it looks pretty rainy there. And then maybe more snow for Buffalo, New York. Okay, they can handle that. So could Rochester. I'll throw in a few flakes there. If you look at our current temperature, as of 8 o'clock, it's 46. We were, 49? So we've actually cooled a few degrees, but that has also seen some improvement on the fog and visibility front. 56 currently in Ahoskie, 54 Nags Head, it's 45 in Yorktown, and Surrey coming in at 48 degrees. Currently it's 67 in Knoxville. I say that could be the canary in the coal mine. I expect upper 60s at a minimum for Norfolk tomorrow. Could push 70 like our friends in Charlotte and Columbia. And Atlanta right now has cooled to 72 degrees. Now, if you like the really cold air, look no further than Rapid City. They're at 9, but I believe they're negative 13 in Lynn Lake Airport in Canada and negative 9 in Fort Severn. I show that only for purposes of how cold is it up there. That's how cold. Big difference between 12 and negative 13, but that's how the cookie crumbles or the thermometer breaks it down. Dew points have come up into the 40s, not as cold or rather not as dry as it was earlier this winter when we did have single-digit wind chills and sub-zero dew points rather. We seem like we had sub-zero wind chills earlier this winter. But here's where the highway in blue will continue to rear its ugly head. It's going to continue to push down some of that Arctic air from Canada in white, and this will take us through March 1st. So when you've got this kind of cold push, I think it's going to do-si-do by the time we hit the 19th of March. It'll be more in here, but it's also going to open up the door for severe weather right in the Ohio and Tennessee valleys. Maybe we get in on the act, but just like we're seeing severe weather tonight in Illinois and Indiana, I think that will also continue to be the concern even 30 days from now. This supercomputer outcome takes us through the 1st of March. Above normal temperatures, near normal for South Florida. We will be warming things up. All right, so temperature tomorrow, 53. About 50 for Saxis, 55 for Onancock, mid-50s for Exmoor and Cape Charles. I mentioned after 2 p.m., most of us will see the sun break out. 64 Nags Head, 66 Manio for high temperature for you. Rodanthe 64 and should be around 59 for Ocracoke. Hatteras about 60. Now as far as the colors, not every day in any time of the year do you see a yellow go to orange. Orange means enhanced, which is numerous. Right? If you just took the word isolated, scattered, and numerous, I can show you tonight. Last I checked, they took it off. They took it off. They removed it. I don't know why, but they did. They had earlier tonight some areas in Illinois and Indiana under the numerous level 3. But now it's Louisville, Kentucky, and Champaign, Urbana, Illinois, and Indianapolis, now still under the scattered. So they're modifying it as we speak. Evansville, also scattered severe storms tonight. Muncie, Indiana, and back toward parts of Kentucky. We're not expecting any severe weather here, but there could be some in Tennessee. I'm looking at Chattanooga, Atlanta tomorrow, Tupelo, Mississippi. Huntsville could get isolated severe storms tomorrow. There's Chattanooga. Just south of Etowah and Rome, Georgia. Atlanta could get isolated severe storms tomorrow, but nothing here. And then by Saturday, it looks like it's going to make it to Wrightsville Beach. Montgomery, Alabama. Atlanta will also have another round of severe weather, potentially isolated. South Georgia, Columbia, and yeah, there's Wilmington, Caswell Beach, Myrtle Beach, Sunset Beach. Those beautiful areas down there could also have some isolated severe storms. On Saturday, again, that's where I said most of it would be, right? It would be centered down toward Cape Fear and Wilmington, and that's the way it's likely to be. Now, again, we talked about the rain showers. Most of tomorrow will have some rain developing in the morning. That looks pretty convincing. That's why I left it as a 60% chance tomorrow. There's about 10:30, there's about noon, and then voila, by 2 o'clock, it's all gone, essentially. It's still raining in Dare County, but even that will be out of there maybe an hour later. So by that point, we'll see some big improvement. All right, let me get to the forecast. It's now 8:30. I've gone on almost an hour. 44 south side, 43 peninsulas, 52 North Carolina. Low temperatures tonight with fog and showers, 47 for Elizabeth City, the harbor of hospitality and your neighborhood. 43 in Hampton. Hampton University, where Wanda Sykes, Portsmouth native, will be recording her Netflix special tomorrow night in Hampton U. Full circle, she mentioned, like a full circle moment in life where she's coming back to college years later to record a Netflix special. So congratulations to Wanda Sykes. That goes on tomorrow night. 45 Smithfield, 46 for Moyock. Those are the lows tonight expected. Now, tomorrow we'll easily get up to the upper 60s for the south side. May still be in the 50s for the peninsulas, but 70 plus for North Carolina. Got 74 for Windsor, Bertie County, 70 for Suffolk and Elizabeth City, but only 62 for Gloucester, 64 for Williamsburg and Wakefield, about 67. Cape Charles, about 54 degrees tomorrow. About 68 Norfolk, 61 Corolla, Nags Head, about 64. Here's your first warning, WTKR, News 370 forecast. We covered a lot of ground today, 68 to 58. Then we're going to go to 49. It's going to be windy. Put the windy there. That's right there. I think we can also put another W here, another windy day Monday. You're not going to get drops and flakes with no wind. So this will be one big wind event, right? We're going to get a lot of rain by the order of about a third to maybe 3/4 of an inch of rain on Sunday. Some of you will see the introduction of flakes. You go, oh, it's snowing, oh, it's snowing. And then when it's all over, I will ask you, how much do you have now? Well, nothing now, but like when it was falling, it was scary. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense, right? Just let it fall. It'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's no big deal. But we will get back into the chillier part and then warm back up into the upper 50s, I think, as we head into Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday, Thursday, really Tuesday, Wednesday, your dry days. You will actually, I think, salvage much of tomorrow afternoon. So after 2 o'clock, when the clouds break, we're near 70, you'll love what tomorrow will bring, but we still have to look down the road. I think Tuesday, Wednesday are pretty decent. Obviously, Wednesday warmer than Tuesday. By the way, I want to leave you with these great happy shots from our Facebook group, WTKR Photographers. This is from Charles, Newport News this morning. A little bit of fog. Some of you might think this weather is for the ducks. This weather's for the birds. Stumpy Lake, rainy and foggy. Lisa had about 12 or 13 photographs to choose from. I picked this one because it was really nice to see some birds, to see some ducks. And oh, Sandra Dean Snyder capturing this beautiful picture from about a week ago Wednesday. The Hilton Pier, James River, Newport News. Isn't that beautiful? See, you just look at that and you go, that's why I live here. That's my neighborhood, some of you might be thinking. And I can't disagree with you. This is one of the beautiful things you live here because there's so much beauty. Now, the rain that's falling now isn't beautiful. The fog we're dealing with is not beautiful. But this too shall pass, right? By 11 o'clock tonight, much of this energy should be moving east of Chincoteague. We'll see how that plays out. Temperatures, again, 68 tomorrow to near 70. And then we're going to be getting cooler as the day wears on Saturday at 58 degrees. Did I mention you can actually save some money tonight? I know it's weird, but I know it's only Thursday. But maybe it's a Friday. Maybe Friday's your pizza night. Maybe Saturday. I would encourage you not to clip a coupon, but just write down the promo code. You can screenshot it. You can save it. You can share it. our TV call letters, WTKR David, that's my first name, you can actually save almost half off the price of a Pozzoli, which acts like a Stromboli or calzone. Pepperoni and sausage is my personal favorite. If you pair it with a dipping sauce, you will be impressed, as I am. It's the first item I've ever used or actually enjoyed at Marco's. But there are 6 locations in the Marco's family that will give you the $5 Pozzoli. So you can find Marco's in virtually anywhere in Hampton Roads or Tidewater area, but these 6 are the ones that will honor the $5 Pozzoli. And if you want to win pizza next week, we'll do it again next Thursday. WTKR.com/Marcos. All it takes is about a minute to sign up. All you have to do is sign up once. So if you didn't win tonight, you didn't win last week, you might win next week. You're still in the pipeline, and just wanted to share that with you. Pizza for Your certificate will go out next week. And we've got the Pozzoli in the left and the Magnifico there. So just a reminder, the big winner tonight was Debbie Hendricks from Chesapeake, and the 10 winners that won from Amanda all the way down to Tom Howard. So glad that you won. And if you've never tried Marco's, this gives you a chance to try it and share it with your neighborhood. Anyway, just a reminder, doesn't matter if the weather is sunny or serious, doesn't matter if it's rainy or if it's stormy, every day's a gift. You can't change today, because it's pretty much over today. You can't even change yesterday. But I do know we have opportunities. We all do. I do. Tomorrow. Tomorrow's a different day. We'll make the best of it, and just know that every day's a gift. We'll see you here next week. Take care.